Welcome to Rick Dancer TV. It's Movember, which is great because we got to check in on Rick and his whole face situation. Wine Julie is here, Coburg Pizza Company night. We're going to also hear about a local artist, which is going to be great. And I don't have any spare change on me. Blanket, I'll check inside. All coming up on Rick Dancer TV.
I'm not dead. That sounds like something interesting.
Well, we're gonna need some more handsomeness if we want ratings.
It's going to be fun, but sometimes when there's 57 pies on the menu, people get a little fragile. And so we really did want to make it fun and easy. So we invite people to come in, and the very first step is to just take a deep breath. Recognize that this is an adventure.
Chill.
And you're in for a great time.
Okay.
So it's pretty easy from there. You size your pie, a piccolo, which is our smallest size, all the way up to a grande.
Do the grande.
You choose your crust.
Leftovers for lunch. I had them today.
And they were good.
They were, yeah.
That's right. You choose your crust, and in fact, in crust we trust. So thin crust, thick crust, stuffed crust, even gluten-free crust in 2 of our sizes. And from there, then you just find the great stuff to put on it. And we've created 57 different menu options for you. And of course, if you don't like that, well, we can find a way to create exactly what you want. But when you start putting things like Louisiana jambalaya on a pizza, or baked potato on a pizza, or apple crisp on a pizza, we're bound to have figured out something that you're gonna love.
Hey Emma, we got a new client.
Well, that's always a good thing.
Eugene Hearing and Speech Center.
Okay.
So they do a lot of work with hearing and speech, but what I never knew is they also do work with kids with literacy to get them ready to go into school. So guess what? Hop Valley is having a big night on the 18th.
Yeah. Really? Is that the situation where I go down and pay money for beer and it goes to a good cause?
And you forgot to go, Hops for Hope.
Well, that's what I was going to do when you say it's Hop for Hope, and then I was going to hop.
Oh, okay, so Hop for Hope. We'll see how it works.
Hops for Hope!
Oh, that's good.
This guy over here?
So
okay.
$1 from every pint goes to the Eugene Hearing and Speech Center. That was pretty good, actually.
Thank you.
The way that worked.
Did you know that 1 in 3 American children start kindergarten without the skills they need to read? But it doesn't have to be that way.
Remember, we did it with the man.
With the man. Oh, you did the man one.
My name is Corey Byers, and I teach the early literacy program at the Eugene Hearing and Speech Center.
It gave him kind of an edge up on everything else. He went into school confident and knowing what the teacher was talking about.
They teach me how to read little words and then start to read bigger words. And it got really easier.
He was even able to help other children sitting next to him that had had no prior schooling experience.
I really feel like our program and what I do for a job really impacts the child for their entire life.
Big armadillos.
Because we give them this foundation that they can build on for their entire life.
You know what's delicious?
What?
Not just good, Ranchito Grill. Now I know we're at Coburg Pizza Company and this is my favorite pizza place, but Ranchito Grill is my favorite Mexican food place and it's right down the street. Kind of feel like I'm cheating on them, but it's okay because I feel like, well, I also need to remind you.
Abe knows.
Abe's cool with it. He's good, he shares.
So tell them about the dinner. They can win a dinner.
Yeah, I want to make sure they know if you go down to Ranchito Grill, you just put your phone number, your name, the basics, right?
Social security number, Visa card.
First pet, mom's maiden name. If you just put that in there, it's great. No, just your name.
We're kidding.
name,
just your
phone
name
number,
and phone number, and we'll call you if we win.
You enter to win at Ranchito Grill. Dinner for 2. It's delicious. And also we have a winner from last time. Rick, put it down here on the screen for them so then they get, you know, the fancy scroll.
I will.
Yeah?
The fancy one? I mean, there goes.
Or like just the, you know.
You know, they also make pizzas that are desserts, like cherry crisp, cinnamon roll slice, and apple pie slice. How are ya?
What are you doing?
I'm just checking out the dessert.
Okay.
You know, with this, you need good milk just to go right with it afterwards.
Oh, like the Lockmead. You should get some Lockmead. You know, you were telling me about the chocolate milk after you work out. I went for a run.
Did you do it?
Yeah.
And it worked, right?
Well, it's a good recovery. You weren't lying. That other stuff's too much sugar. It makes me feel sick.
Well, this is 3 carbs to 1 protein, and when you do a protein drink, it's like 30 grams of protein, but you're not getting that carb, which is what your body needs. So you felt better?
Yeah, and I love milk and chocolate, so put those hands together.
And you're kind of a fan of Lockmead.
I'm a huge fan of Lockmead. Are you kidding me? Ice cream is my favorite.
I hope you were just doing the chocolate milk and not the Lockmead ice cream after a workout, Emma. It
Later,
started off as ice cream and turned into chocolate milk?
Well, I had to have dinner.
Feels kind of funny telling you all this about Lockmead Farms. To a family of farmers, it almost sounds like we're bragging a bit, but actually it's not bragging when you're telling the truth. We operate our company in the same community where we live. Honesty, integrity, and truth mattered to Howard and Gladys Gibson, and those values still matter to us today. Doing our part and taking care of the environment has always been a part of those values. Sustainability is what farmers do, but they didn't always call it that. We work hard to reuse, recycle, and renew as much as possible. 80% of what we feed the cows is grown right here on the farm. We know what they eat, and the milk they give in return is proof they're getting the best. We even understand the value of reusing their waste. On the farm, we put in cutting-edge technology in the form of manure digesters to recycle cow manure into energy, enough energy to power 300 homes a year and our dairy. At the plant and the Dairy Mart stores, the sun's energy is taken seriously. Solar panels collect the power and help us protect and save the environment. In a nutshell, that's the Lockmead story. We're connected to history, to our industry, to our community, and to our family. As the sun sets in the west, everything is quiet again on the farm, but not for long. The cows will be up early, and so will we, doing what we do naturally.
Hey Bill, look who's here. It's Wine Julia.
Hi.
Yeah, she'll be on the show a little bit later because she has to get her pizza and her wine. She has to figure out what she's going to talk about. So you're going to do some pairing for us.
Absolutely, sure.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry to bother you. Love the crutches. It's a nice look.
I know.
One of the really cool things about Coburg Pizza is all the different types of pizzas. Terry must have a lot of time on his hands because he's always coming up with something new to try. That's one of the really cool things about the Monday night, where you can come in and just try all kinds of different pizzas, and if you don't like one, you don't have to finish it, you can just go to the next, but it gives you kind of an idea what your favorites are all about. You know, many years ago, I was working with a photographer named Sid Bates, and he knew of an artist in Newport who took glass and sand and blasted it into something absolutely beautiful. So tonight, we're going to take a trip into the archives. Newport has always based its economy on fishing and timber, but over the years, tourism and art have become the big thing. We're going to introduce you to a woman who found her gift in what sand can do to glass.
Sitting on a hilltop high above Uquina Bay, Jill Pridgeon proves our vision doesn't have to be clear to be beautiful.
I don't know where it came from, but I ended up being able to do this. I didn't know it, and I had to mess around at a lot of other stuff before I found out that this is what I was good at.
Jill used to make wooden signs.
The Embarcadero here asked me to do some etched glass for a stairway up to their restaurant. And I didn't know how to do it, but like in most small business, just BS your way and say, of course I can do that for you, and then you find out how to do it.
An accident. An accident that Jill would spend 23 years perfecting into three-dimensional art.
It's hard sometimes. I hate it sometimes.
Jill borrows the actual art from others. Then she cuts the images out of contact paper placed on the glass.
I've figured out how to shut up, basically, you know. So, and that's really was a hard trick to learn.
She shuts down all reasoning, allowing her creative brain to take over.
It's like a drug. It is. It feels really good to do it, you know.
Jill's glass etching is all about shading. She removes just the right pieces so the sandblasting is controlled, texturing, and breathing life into a cold piece of glass.
Somehow I ended up good at it. It's just a blessing. And I think a lot of people don't find that thing that they're good at. So, you know, I was lucky enough to get this weird, odd little sandblasting thing. I mean, how many people would have thought for when they grow up?
Jill is like an explorer, a modern-day pioneer out to discover her new frontier, her next brush with passion.
Why is it important as we as human beings, when we're given a gift, that we do use it?
Because it's going to be the thing that satisfies you. And because you're good at it, because it's your gift, there's nothing else that'll bring you the satisfaction that successfully expressing your gift does.
Jill is not just an artist. She's a science fanatic, a fish lover, and a woman of the sea. 3 gifts complementing a life not yet complete.
Finding your gift, letting yourself have enough experiences and exploring enough for unexpected avenues in life until you find your gift, helps you have a life that's like a nice, huge, belly-filling meal. You know, it's like a meal. And I'm hungry all the time.
Jill's appetite is not satisfied. She knows there are more unexpected twists and turns in her life.
I was given a gift to do it. And some people will pay me to do it.
The fun part, the growth part, the part she yearns to realize is just an experience away. But you gotta try.
God may give you the potatoes, but you're gonna have to plant them and weed them and water in them in order to get a crop, you know? So, yeah, you got a gift, you're gonna have to develop it through your own motivation.
If there is a secret to Jill Pridgeon's motivation, it would be this. She doesn't want to fail, but that fear is not strong enough to keep her from trying.
Jill's love for the sea is not being with etched glass. In fact, right now she's studying to be an aquarist. That's somebody who takes care of fish. Family is really important to Coburg Pizza and Terry Dawson, one of the owners of the place. And what I love is they have a lot of pictures of real family all over the place. He didn't buy these somewhere and stick them in a frame and stick them on the wall. This is actually his family. History is really important to me too, and one of the ways we're bringing history to you is through the University of Oregon Special Collections Department, providing us with some of the old stories that we did back in the day so that you can enjoy them. And here's a quick little interview with Elizabeth Peterson from the University of Oregon Special Collections Department. We're here at the University of Oregon Archives to talk to Elizabeth Peterson. Do you think that sometimes as the public, we see the University of Oregon Library and the archives and the special collections as something that is distant, and you really don't want that?
Oh,
no. You
no.
want us in here. You want us using, this is a living history. This isn't supposed to be, I think the word archive sometimes makes us think stand back and stay back.
Or that it's dead, or that it's behind a glass case like a museum. And certainly these things are often beautiful objects, but no, these are meant to be used. I mean, these foam cradles that you see around here, those are intended to gently allow you to open a book because we want you to use those medieval manuscripts. We want you to look at that Oregon Trail diary. We absolutely want people to come in here, and how we can get the word out about that in specific ways, I think is challenging because they're so vast and diverse. To say, we have all kinds of stuff, doesn't really tell people much. And libraries are all about that, is serving our user community. And special collections is not just the university community, but it's the city of Eugene, it's the state of Oregon, it's the Northwest region. And in often case, it's an international community that we're serving. We have a lot of researchers that come from overseas to use the materials here.
Dana,
Whoa, there's the plate, okay.
The pizza's out.
Pizza?
Pizza is here. Look at this. You're gonna need broccoli, something or other.
I want one of those.
Okay, James. Extraordinary. See, I get it wrong every time. So this is kind of cool because then they set out all these Philly cheesesteak. Okay, hold on. Okay, all right.
We're at Coburg Pizza. It's a Monday night. Tavolo Festa, and this place is packed because, well, tell us what this is. This is like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a little bit of everything.
Well, I grew up in an Italian family, and so obviously food was an event, but food was also a holiday, which means we had events and holidays every day right around our table. And Tavolo Festa means table feast. This is what we did at home all the time. We just provide a pretty creative feast every Monday night so people can try 57 pies given some time.
So you just put out different kinds of pies so people can look at what they are and try that one. Maybe they were thinking they wanted to buy, but they were never sure they were going to do it.
Yeah.
And how much is there one price for everything? So it's pizza, it's salad, it's breadsticks, and then you buy your drinks separate.
That's right. All you care to eat, all you care to enjoy, a very simple kind of a price thing, because the whole idea is that with 57 pizzas on the menu, it's not real easy to try all the things you might love the most. So 12 to 15 different kinds of pizza every Monday night. You come in, you try it. If you don't like the Alaskan baked salmon pizza the first time, well, then you can try the Western barbecue Coburger or the jalapeno popper. It's pretty easy to find something you'll like.
I say this every time, but you are crazy about pizza.
I'll take it. Thanks.
I want to introduce you to a friend of mine. I was going to say an old friend of mine, but she's not that old. It's just we've been around a long time. This is Betty Lou, and even girls can get on this Movember thing, right? See? You are so odd.
You know, I feel like I'm not learning much. Where do you get your news?
Where do I get my news?
Yeah, you seem like you know it all.
You saw the Springfield News and the Creswell Chronicle the other day in the office. It's because smaller papers are doing really well right now because the bigger papers have trouble just covering all the little things that people need to know. So if you live in a small community like Springfield or Creswell or Cottage Grove, you got these papers that are covering just what you need to see. So that's why we're doing some stuff working with the Springfield Times and also the Creswell Chronicle, because I believe in what they're doing and I think they're really doing a great job, and it's fun. And you get to see your kids in the paper, you know what I mean? It's not like where there's so many things in a big community. With this, you're really seeing your kids in pictures in the paper and stuff.
In the right way. Last time I told my mom I was in the paper, she was like, "What'd you do?" I was like, "Mom, come on, give me some credit."
We're here with Dr. David Freifeld from the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute, and we're talking about, I think it's my favorite subject because I'm here today because of this, is the new treatments for prostate cancer that most people have no idea what's here, right here in Eugene at your offices.
Yeah, the technology that exists today, that we have today, is so much different than it was in the past. I started doing this job in 1981. We had a cobalt machine, and it was a world of difference. So we treated some guys at that time, and we did the best job we could. But today, with the technology and the precision that we have, it's a whole different world, and it's so much more gratifying.
Because you've got IMRT, which is what? So for people that are out there listening, it's IMRT is just that targeted radiation that just pinpoints, right?
Oh, it really is. I'll give you an analogy. It's if your hand is the tumor, okay? The old radiation was like a shoebox around that hand. Today, IMRT is like a glove. It conforms to the shape of the tumor. Tumors are not all round, they're three-dimensional. You need something that shapes around that tumor, and IMRT gives us the ability from the outside of the body to actually send this beam in and create this distribution of the radiation that is three-dimensional.
Now then there's Calypso, which is the treatment that I had at OHSU, but you guys now have it here, or I could have done this here. How does that play into these two working together?
Well, if you have a really precise treatment, then you'd better make sure you know where that target is every day. In those old shoebox days, it was in there someplace. You didn't need to worry about it that much, but it turns out that the organs inside us, they move around. And that's a problem when you have very, very precise treatment delivery. So you need a combination of image guidance, and that's Calypso, along with the IMRT, which is the precision radiation distribution.
Well, I am so glad you guys got this, because you don't know how many people I tell about this every day, and it's like that is here, you know, and they don't have to travel somewhere else. So thanks as a group for bringing that down here, and we should introduce him to Jim, because Jim is one of the first guys. In fact, I think he's actually the first guy that went through the treatment with Calypso, this combination treatment here in Eugene, and look how this happened for him.
So ground shipping will be there Tuesday, and you don't need any extra insurance. At the office, I work 12 hours a day, sometimes 6 days a week, but I'm never tired. Just don't have tired in me.
68-year-old Jim Westcott is an active, busy man.
Though I don't think of myself as old as my birthdays say I am, but I do like to work out and stay strong.
Jim stays in shape. He's precise and detailed, especially when it comes to his health and his cars.
I always have amazing looking cars, and inside and out, keep them really sharp.
When Jim's doctor diagnosed him with prostate cancer, Jim did what comes naturally. He researched many treatments.
I actually did not feel threatened. I did not feel it was going to end my life. So before I had gotten this diagnosis, I knew that cancer of the prostate was fairly well localized if you caught it fairly early.
Jim did his homework and picked a newer radiation treatment, Calypso, over surgery.
The surgery was the most devastating and one of the more common alternatives to radiation. And the surgery has a great impact on your lifestyle. Takes you out of commission. I can't go to work anymore for a period of time. There's just a real drag on my lifestyle with the urinary problems. You could have sexual difficulties. I didn't want to go through that if I could avoid it.
Willamette Valley Cancer Institute in Eugene was the only treatment facility that offered Calypso right here in Jim's hometown.
And I met Dr. Fryfield in Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and came away feeling this is what we want to do. The Calypso is going to be our best treatment, safest treatment. It's close to home. It's a very, very precise way to treat prostate cancer, and it fit what I needed.
Calypso, called GPS for the body, precisely targets radiation treatments after 3 miniature radio beacons the size of rice grains are inserted into the prostate.
And it was put on a gown, lay on the table, so I just laid there, and then they fired this device up and it went around me twice. Machines whirred and made funny noises, which I got really used to after a few days. And we did that every day, and by 30 minutes after the treatment, I was back at work. As far as follow-up, that's the only thing I have scheduled. Do every 6 months or so, do a PSA, and just make sure it's still knocked down and not going to come back. I would definitely do this again in a second. The Calypso was so precise, such a painless way to go. My lifestyle was impacted 20 minutes a day for 25 days. That's it. Other than that, there was no impact on my lifestyle. So I find that pretty good compared to weeks and weeks of recovery, maybe a week in the hospital. It's glass, right? And then weeks and weeks of catheters and urinary problems, a lot of therapy on that.
We'll see you soon. Be there Tuesday for you.
Now, this was by far the best treatment I could find.
And I am here with the real Wine Julia, not the fake, not an imposter, the real Wine Julia. And she brought her family. It's a great place to bring your family here at Coburg Pizza Company, Springfield location or otherwise. What are we pairing up with what kind of pizza? I've got the Bangkok chicken, Philly cheesesteak, the nachos, but my
Nacho
pizza.
usual. Yeah.
What's over here then?
Formaggio de Florence, the Colossus Co-Burger, the Bassani broccoli with chef.
Okay.
We've got a whole load of pizzas because it's Tavola Festa tonight at Coburg Pizza Company. So You've got plenty of pizzas to choose from by the slice. My go-to wine when there's so many choices like this is what I'm drinking is a sparkling wine. They've got Zardetto Prosecco. It's an Italian sparkling wine. It's incredible. It pairs with so many things. So if you've got a variety like this, that's what I would go with. If you've got like a red sauced pizza with a lot of meat on it, I would go for the Santa Cristina Sangiovese. It's really, really good with like the Vito, which is one that we had earlier.
Yes, one of my favorites.
The Coburg Colossus, the Nacho Usual, the Three Sisters Triple Pepperoni would be great with that. So there's so many. If you've got a white sauce pizza, go with like the Pinot Gris, the Acrobat Pinot Gris, which is King Estate, so it's really good. Totally local. At Coburg Pizza Company, I just revamped their entire wine list, which is on the horizon. Excellent wines are in play, and we're really super excited about that. And a pairing guide to pair with 57 pizzas.
Cheers to that.
So cheers.
Yes.
This is Amy Johnston. She's from the Oregon Cancer Foundation. And here at Coburg Pizza, 25% of the sales on Monday nights is going to the Oregon Cancer Foundation, as long as you have your card with you.
That's right, Rick. You do have to have your card, but you can get them here at Coburg Pizza, you can get them at the Duck Store, Analog Barbershop, or you can get them at our website at MovemberEugene.com.
Okay, so this money that's raised, the Oregon Cancer Foundation, what does that go to? How does that help?
It goes to help families here in our community that are being affected by a cancer diagnosis.
You guys kind of pick up the slack for people.
We do. There's a whole range of things. We don't limit it to any one category. We try to be really tangible. We're really local. All the money stays here in Lane County, and we help our neighbors.
All right, Oregon Cancer Foundation, Coburg Pizza. Go to our partners, show them your stash. You know, today I was on Facebook and a guy I know was writing about his wife recently dying from cancer. And it just breaks your heart when you hear stories like that. And then it also makes you feel so grateful and feel fortunate because you're a survivor and you're still here. And you know, it really does matter when you walk around town and you walk around places and see on Facebook people growing their hair out on their face and in support of what you're talking about. And you know, people like the Duck Store and Level 32 Racing and Coburg Pizza and Analog Barbershop and the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and the Oregon Cancer Foundation, all those organizations supporting us. It just makes you stop and think for a minute how lucky you are and fortunate and blessed to still be here. That's it. Good night.